Delete messages before sending. It's 11:30 p.m. You are lying in bed, the blue light of your phone illuminating your face. You've just typed out a long, vulnerable text message. You stare at the glowing words for a moment, and then completely erase them without sending. You close the app, leaving the draft abandoned. It feels like a simple moment of indecision. But psychologically, it's a complex internal negotiation between your authentic self and your brain's survival instincts. This is known as the typing and deleting cycle. Let's break down the real psychology behind why we erase our words before they ever reach the other person. 1. The perception of social risk. Digital communication removes the safety net of human facial expressions and tone of voice. You are left with cold, hard text on a screen. Because of this ambiguity, your brain perceives sending a vulnerable text as a literal danger. Once you hit send, you lose control over how the other person will interpret it. 2. Preemptive self-rejection. When you delete a message, you are essentially rejecting yourself before the other person has a chance to. It is a self-protective behavior. You decide that the quiet ache of not sending the message is much safer than the potential pain of being misunderstood, judged, or ignored. 3. The defensive alarm system. Imagine you write a text setting a firm boundary. You reread it and suddenly it looks far too aggressive. Your heart rate might even increase. According to psychological models on rejection sensitivity, early experiences condition our brains to expect rejection. This activates the defensive motivational system, a physiological alarm designed to protect you from social threats. This alarm triggers an overthinking loop. It forces you to obsessively edit, soften, or delete your words to minimize the perceived danger of the interaction. 4. The perfectionist trap. The fear of disapproval can cause individuals to try to achieve perfect communication to avoid any chance of failure before it even happens. You end up tone policing yourself. You replace a deeply honest paragraph with a simple, safe, and generic reply just to keep the peace and avoid conflict. 5. The attachment style divide. People often assume that someone who constantly types and deletes is just insecure, flaky, or doesn't care enough to reply. In reality, this hesitation is deeply tied to our digital attachment styles. Two people might exhibit the exact same behavior, but their motivations can be complete opposites. Research shows that anxiously attached people delete messages out of a fear of abandonment. They obsessively reread their drafts, terrified that their true feelings will be too much and drive the other person away. Avoidantly attached people, however, delete messages for the exact opposite reason. They erase their vulnerable drafts to maintain emotional distance, fearing that self-disclosure will lead to unwanted intimacy and dependence. Final takeaway. Deleting a drafted message isn't necessarily a sign of weakness or a personal failure. It is simply your brain's way of trying to keep you safe from the unpredictable, messy nature of human connection. The next time you backspace a message into oblivion, remember that the words you typed were real. The feelings behind them were entirely valid. Sometimes the unsent message is the most honest version of ourselves, kept safely in the drafts, away from a world that might misunderstand it. Take your time, keep your care,